Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to take this opportunity to join the other concerned Kenyans who sent their condolences to the parents, teachers, and pupils of Hillside Darasha Academy that suffered deaths and injuries as a result of that ill-fated inferno. We were informed that as at the time I'm doing this video that we had lost 18 of the pupils. 70 were still unaccounted for. We want to take this opportunity to also send our heartfelt condolences. That was very devastating and very unfortunate. We believe and pray that the 70 that are unaccounted for would be safe, that God would keep them safe. We were told that others might have run to the forest because those are pupils and they were really scared. Others could have sought refuge in the neighboring houses, and the government was appealing to those who could be hosting any strange children from the school to avail them. We really pray that God give them strength, especially the parents who lost their children. William Ruto has declared a 3 days for mourning, and the flag will be at half mast. We really condole with them, and we pray that God gives them strength. Now, ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto announced that he was going to China. And he made it very clear that part of the reason why he was going there, it was a China-African summit. And William Ruto was going to request for more loans to extend the standard gauge railway. And of course, there were some roads that they were planning. This was a visit that was one of a kind because for the first time he was going with the new CS in the Ministry of Treasury. It was a journey that was taking, I think, the first mega journey after their broad-based government. He was accompanied by Raila Amolo Odinga, who was also going to look for votes for his African Union Commission chairperson bid. But Kenyans do not trust when William Ruto talks of money. Ears are out, and it raises a lot of eyebrows. They feel that this money is going to end into people's pockets.
William Samuel Ruto amesema anaenda China kuleta 40 billion. Hii Kenya yetu hii. Na hata anaongea kwa kanisa. Naenda kuleta 40 billion. Na ameenda watatu. Raila Amolo Odinga nyuma yake. Bibi ya Ruto wanaenda na yeye. Tunajua vizuri. Hizi 40 si analipa, ni wewe utalipa. Si analipa, ni wewe. So Ruto ameenda China kuleta 40. So jua ukiona Ruto ameingia tu Kenya pap. Jua maisha imetoka chini inaenda juu. School fees itapanda. Si ameendea pesa? Ameendea pesa. Na anatuambia nafikiri sisi ni wajinga ati niendie pesa itu saidie. Si itu saidie, imu saidie. Hizo ni vitu mbili tofauti. Itu saidie, imu saidie. Sio sisi. Bwana Wakenya si wajinga bwana. Wakenya si wajinga. Maybe uenda Uganda udanganye watu wa Uganda, lakini sio sisi. Uongo ya mchana. Ati sala tuone amechukua sisi ni wafala. Ati tuone wameenda na Raila Amolo Odinga. Ati sala tuone pesa itafanya kazi mzuri juu ameenda na baba.
That is almost 1 hour who is expressing his views, and I think many Kenyans also share the sentiments. Now, John Mbadi announced that we had secured that loan, 40 billion Kenya shillings. Now, the total amount of loan that now we owe China is 900 billion Kenya shillings. The reason why Kenyans don't trust this is because we still have news that part of the Eurobond money that was secured went to people's pockets. The control of budget said that it cannot be accounted for. But as John Mbadi was smiling after getting that loan, there is a problem because part of the Mount Kenya members of parliament have given an ultimatum, and they are saying that they will not allow this money to be used to extend SGR if part of their projects will not be completed. And they are citing specifically the Mau Mau Road. The members of parliament took a tour of that loan, just showcasing how bad it is. And indeed it is bad. And they are saying that it will be very improper for William Samoei Ruto to sideline roads, some of which had been started by Uhuru Kenyatta. They had been initiated by Uhuru Kenyatta, and Ruto promised to complete them. They feel that now William Ruto is abandoning them, and he's injecting this money into other projects. And I want you to take a look at what the members of parliament were saying, and you'll judge for yourself whether they're right or wrong.
Today we are inspecting the Mau Mau roads. We started very early in the morning. We started at Ikombe, we went to Karinga, then Kagodo. You know, that has been the biggest challenge we have in my area. Then we went to Kenyona all the way to the Mairi Bridge, where it's broken and people are using a temporary wooden bridge that cannot even pass, any car cannot pass through there. And we had a meeting with the Director General of Kenya, and we agreed that we come today with the engineers and all the contractors, and they are all here to at least inspect the road and see how bad it is. We've been asking about the completion of this road for the last 2 years, and nothing seems to be happening. Now we know in the budget we got 1 billion shillings, and we are saying once that money is paid, but it's specifically for lot 2, it's given to the contractor, he must give us a plan, and we agree that the road must be passable all the way, because that is money enough that can be able to maintain the road, at least make it sustainable, and have people moving from one place to another. Because we have places that are islands as we speak. People like the people living in Karinga, they have no other route. They have no road. And it's totally unfair to have them do that.
The most important thing is the commitment of the government on this road, Mau Mau Road. We want to say that for us, we have not asked for anything else. We have just been calling upon the government, first of all, work on Mau Mau. Then we will give you the other priorities. Therefore, that the president is in China. I can hear their priorities that the government has put. Maybe Mau Mau is one of the priorities only that has not been mentioned. But we want when the president comes here, and we work on supplementary on the parts that you will get, that Mau Mau will be one of the priorities. Because it will be not sensible when we start new projects, and yet we have Mau Mau here, which was led by the previous government, an important road, which is in a very economic area where we get tea and whatever, which is support the government, and yet we are going now to start another issues to do with SGR. We cannot be comfortable as the residents of Kangema and Kigumo when we hear that the priorities of government are now on other issues which have not started. Our priority as Kangema MP and Kangema residents is on Mau Mau. And I know that's what is it in Kegumo. First of all, they finish on this project because these roads were well maintained by farmers, but farmers now are suffering.
I want to believe that they have a very genuine concern there. It is now survival for the fittest. And when you listen to them clearly, you'd think that you know that we're in a nation where development projects are injected in terms of your relationship with the powers that be. A few months ago, members of parliament led by Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, and others had indicated that those who did not vote for William Samoei Ruto are not really so much entitled to the national cake, that priority should be given to those who voted, and they had said they were shareholders. It seems like the shoe is on the shoe is on the other side of the foot, and they feel it. From where I sit, and I need to clear this. John Buddy said that this money is going to be used to develop about how many roads? 15 rural roads. And I want to believe that the Mau Mau Road is part and parcel of the program, because they have really cried out for it. But I wanted to say that we must change our policy and mentality, that development must go to people regardless of their political affiliation. This idea of showering the president with praises for you to get development is something that is very archaic. It was there during the Moi era. But you see, we are in a new dispensation, and we need to make it crystal clear that each and every Kenyan is a taxpayer, and they must also enjoy developments, because this 40 billion Kenya shillings is going to be repaid by the generation to come. And it is not only going to be paid by those who voted for William Samoei Ruto. So we really, really need to come out very clear and ensure that we have a policy. You see, we can play our politics, do whatever we want, but when it comes to development, let us look at it very holistically and make policies that immediately a president has been elected, he ceases to be your president, maybe as a party or as a tribe that thought that they had sponsored that president. He now becomes the president of the country, and he needs to ensure that he balances development projects. Now, from where I sit, I thought that there is a department in parliament that will ensure that they draw a plan on how development is injected, like which road comes first in terms of its significance to the country, if it is SGR, so that we don't need to have some people feel like we are being neglected. Even when we have the supplementary budget, we always have a committee that looks at it. And that's why I was wondering, why should the members of parliament go there and they start crying? And I think they were doing this because they know this money is coming, and they want to share their voice. They want to air their voices and grievances early enough so that they can be incorporated. But I want to believe that everything had been in plan. The only thing that I felt a little bit in order is when they are saying that it must not be used to expand that SGR when their road has not been constructed, because you could easily interpret that they still believe that the SGR is going towards an area that never elected William Samoei Ruto. Therefore, they feel that as the major shareholders, they should be considered first. If that SGR was going their way, for example, would they have said that they don't want that SGR, they don't want it to come before their roads? We should understand that we live in one Kenya, and we only have one country. And so we should treat others very equally, because the way in which they're trying to look at it, to me, I don't know whether I'm misinterpreting, but they feel that it is because that SGR was to be extended towards Malaba, and I know what they feel. Mbadi had been accused mainly by legislators from Mount Kenya. He got there recently, but his office was being accused when members of parliament from Mount Kenya appeared before a parliamentary committee that they are being sidelined, that there are some projects that are now being sidelined. And they're saying this because they feel that after the handshake, now attention has switched from them, and it is now turning towards Raila's strongholds. I remember in 2022 when they were campaigning, they said after the handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila that Uhuru had neglected them, which was not very true, because we have facts. Uhuru really, injected a lot of money that went into development within Mount Kenya. But I really want to say that I would not even support a situation where development is being given to us simply because we are part of the handshake or we voted for a president and now the others are being neglected. If we encourage that, then tomorrow a president will be coming from another region and you will suffer for it. We need to have a policy of equity because all of us are taxpayers. I don't know what to think, but the ultimatum that was being given after the 40, billion is something that to me is unwarranted. We need to, because those are legislators, they need to sit down, they need to go to parliament and develop, legislation that will ensure that a government that comes in will always look at the citizens equally, so that we are not left into the hands of fate that you need to make noise, you need to shower president with praises before you get development.